All right, so welcome. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I have to get acclimated to the calendar once again. So you can take a nice seat, and we'll need a ball for practice today, and a block or two, and strap and blanket. And so finding a comfortable seat. We're going to work with Prithvi Mudra this week, which is the gesture of the earth. So this mudra, you use your ring finger and your thumb tip together and turn the palms up, and then rest your hands on your legs, anywhere that's comfortable. Feel free to close your eyes. And we'll direct our attention downward to the base of the pelvis and the seat, the contact points of the sit bones, where they meet your surface beneath you. Settling into your physical seat. Continuing our intention from last week to have a sense of mindful quality of movement in your yoga physical practice. And being present without judgment. And I just wanted to read a little bit from one of the yoga texts called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And practicing mindfulness, it suggests an immediacy and a presence in the here and now. It is a call to see things as they truly are without the coloring of the past or thoughts of the future. A fundamental premise of yoga is that our minds are rarely clear lenses through which we encounter the world, but instead are full of distractions, memories, and projections that may color our view of both the world and our place within it. The purpose of yoga is to clear the lens so that we encounter the world fully in the present, just as it is, without distraction or distortion. So become fully present. We just learning to pay attention to ourselves, just as we are in this moment here. We use these different practices of mindfulness or mudra, a gesture of the hands, to bring attention this morning to the earth quality. So feel your breath down into the pelvis. Exhaling down through the earth today. And then join your hands together in front of your heart. And bow your head to yourself and to each other this morning, this early morning, and then release your hands and open your eyes. So we're going to start with some ball massage for the feet this morning. So grab your ball of choice and come to stand at your mat. And it is so dark outside still. Got lots of lights in the room here to help brighten things up a little bit. Okay, so take your ball under one foot. And then start to move the ball under your foot. You can use some wall if you need to for your hands for support. So when we have holiday season, it is a time when we're out of schedule. We kind of are out of the norm. We're eating at different times. We're eating different foods. We're taking in different conversations, plans, we're driving, we're getting places, or maybe we're staying home and people are coming. And so it's just a time when we have to kind of move outside of our routine. And now, perhaps, I know the New Year holiday is coming, but we're starting to settle into, let's switch your foot to the other, switch your ball to the other foot. We're just starting to move into this more steady pace once again. So just honoring where you are with that. And what are you feeling under your foot? What are you noticing? So we bring our attention into the movement, that mindful, supported quality there. So I'm hearing some cracks, little pops, and feeling a little stiff through my foot here. So just noticing, allowing that awareness to come in. All right. And then letting that go. We're going to take your strap and your block, make a loop in your belt. And we're going to place the strap and the block to support the upper legs in standing. So you'll probably want to put your strap on first. And then bring it around the middle of your upper legs. And then put the block in. And I like to go with it the vertical way so that it's flush front to back. So it doesn't stick out like a Pez dispenser. Okay, and up toward the pelvis rather than down toward the knees, and have the strap right in the center there, and you can make that snug. So you have support on the outside with the strap and the inside with the block. All right. And then I'll just have you stand a moment when you get there. And what's interesting for me when I have the block and the strap here, of course, it dictates how wide apart your feet will be, but I feel like I have extra stability. My knees are not locked so much, and I feel the weight in my feet a little more balanced. So just finding, again, that mindful attention to what is present here. And so you're not squeezing the block yet with your inner thighs, and you're not using your bum to really stabilize you either, right? There's just a relaxedness through the lower body all the way to the feet. And then bring your hands to the heart space. Take a nice breath in. Release your arms, circle the arms up and around. And as your hands come through the heart, sit back into a chair. So you've got your block and strap there. Release the arms down, stand all the way up, circle the arms around. Hands to the heart and sit back. So you're mindfully sitting back through your hips into that imaginary chair. And just keep doing this a few more times. And notice the weight on your feet as you're moving through this flow. And now next time you come into chair, pause and bring the arms out to the side, thumbs up, palms open, and make little fists and open the fingers. Little fists, open the fingers. You're holding chair pose here. Fingers and fists. And then turn the palms up, stand all the way up. Hands to the heart, interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. You're in mountain pose now, but you have that extra support with your legs. Take the arms around, and you can either just hover the hands towards each other or interlace the fingers back behind you. Lift the arms up. Nice full breath into the sides of the torso. Release the arms, and then one more time, sit back into chair. We'll just hold this for a moment. Remember your ribs and pelvis. There's not a rounding, a collapsing through the torso. So you're really just sitting back through the hips and forward through the knees here. Now press your legs out into the belt and then press your legs into the block in your chair and then press out into the belt and in to the block. And do that a few times. Abduction, adduction. Can you sense in your feet that your arches are changing a little bit in their position with these movements? All right. And then hold the one for a moment that feels like it works better for you. So it could be legs out or it could be hug block. So either press out or press in and just hold that for a moment. You can have hands together here. We're just building a little stability back into that sort of grounding sense this morning. And then rise to Tadasana and take your props away. All right, now you're going to keep your belt. And if you can, just take the loop that you've got and just make it as long, as big as you can before it slips out, the tail slips out. So just a nice, generally long loop here. And then we're going to do a little bit of balance. So you may want to be near a wall, but we're going to put the belt under the left foot. And all you're going to do here is hold the somewhere with your left hand. So I'm not mirroring you this morning because it's too much for my brain. So this is my left side, left foot, left hand. And then just start to shift your weight over to the right foot and float the left foot off the floor for a moment. So your left arm can be straight and you're just holding the two tails of the strap here. And then take your leg a little out in front of you. Try to keep your pelvis more neutral. So this is just a movement through your hip here. And then take your leg out to the side without tilting too much to the right here. And then bring it back to the center and kick your leg back. And then from there, maybe you go into a little tilt through the front leg. Just have to be able to move my leg back. And then you come up to center, take the leg, sweep it forward again. And then back to the center and out to the side. You've got your strap under your foot here. And then back to the midline and then kick the leg back and go into a little tilt. So just working some stability in this right leg actually here. Let's go one more forward with the foot and leg. Feel the hip flexor engage. Whoop, and then out, abduction out to the side. So we're working primarily the stabilizing muscles in the right leg. Bring it back to midline, kick it back and float it back. You can come a little forward. Right, and then return your foot back to the floor. And then we'll switch to the other foot. So belt goes under the right foot. And you can hold your strap with your arms straight. Now we're shifting weight over to the left foot. And when you do that, just make sure you're not letting the hip kick out to the side. So you're really stabilizing these outer hip muscles. And then float the right leg out in front of you. You can go as high as you want, as long as your pelvis, your back doesn't round here. And then bring it to midline and then out to the right. And back into midline and then kick behind you, maybe tilt a little forward. You can push slightly into the strap with your foot there as well. Coming upright, go forward, play with the height there, and then out to the side. And then midline and kick back, tilt a little forward here. Let's do that once more around. Leg goes forward, so we're feel the stability through this left leg. And back. We're just going to walk a little more grounded this morning, maybe. And come on back. Release your foot. Release your strap. Take your strap aside. Turn to face the side of your mat and grab a block. Now here, we're going to take the block at a little bit of a diagonal in front of, I'll mirror you again, so right foot. Let's put the block at a diagonal facing out to the right a little bit, your right toes and knees, and then step your other leg back. So heels are in line with one another though in this variation, and turn your left foot and knee out. So it's kind of like a goddess pose, but your right foot is elevated. And then placing your hands right on your hips, you can have a very moderate stance here, or you can be a little bit wider stance. We're going to sit into a squat here. So you have one leg elevated and one leg on the floor, and then come back up to stand. Now, as you're sitting into this goddess squat, think about your legs coming up towards your torso. So I even found myself wanting to tilt forward when I did that, which is not a problem. But I want to see, what do I have in my hips, knees, and ankles where my torso stays upright? So we're just going to do some reps here. And you can even put your hands to your lower glutes and really feel as you push down to straighten your legs. That's where you're initiating the strength coming from. So it might feel it in the quads a little too, but in the bum is what we're going for. Now this last one, hold and put your hands on the outsides of your thighs and press out. And feel the difference between right leg, left leg here. How is this different for you? In what way does it create an opening, a strengthening, or maybe some obstacle, right? Whatever is arising. All right, and then go ahead and stand up and then take your left foot a little closer in so you can bring your right foot down. And then we'll take the other side, so that goddess pose. Now we'll put left foot angled up and then right foot out to the side, and their feet are in line with one another. So your legs are turned out a little, and then we're going to start that sitting back. So I can see for this side, I really want to bow forward here, which is another way to squat, but I'm working with torso here, ribs and pelvis staying level, or not bowing from the shoulders. This side is completely different for me. Now your right leg will probably straighten as you're standing back up. Your left leg may not. Really go back into the bum. Use the very low glutes here to work the strength. Easy in the breath. Next time you come into the goddess squats, pause and take your hands to the outsides of the legs. So pressing the legs out. Mindful movement. Shoulders relax. And then rise. Bring your right foot a little closer. Step your left foot down. All right, take your block. Now, you may want to use a bolster for this part, or you may want to just use a block. We're going to place the block down on the floor. I'll show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring my left foot forward into a lunge, and I'm going to have my right knee on the block. Okay, so I'm in a lunge where my legs are 90 degrees pretty much here. You want to have some height under your back knee. So you could use a bolster, blankets. You could put a blanket over the block if you want some extra softness. And you want to be able to, if you can, to tuck your toes back there. So your right foot toes are tucked under. I know for some that toe hinge is a little bit hard, challenging. All right, so once you're here, let's just take the arms into cactus. All right, now attune to your right leg and foot and push your foot into that imaginary wall back there. Push through the foot. Can you feel both your right glute contracting and your right front of the right hip opening? And then let that go. And then push again. So what push is the bum. The bum is what's pushing. Are you tucking to do that? Are you tucking your tail? Let's take the arms any other way you like, up towards the sky, or maybe out to the side, or maybe hands on your hips. So just work your right leg here. Now, what would it take for you to stand, to straighten your back leg, or to start to come up into high lunge? Just feel, maybe you don't go there. Maybe you put your hands on your front thigh, but we don't want to lean way forward to do that if possible. So just start to play with what would happen if I were to just straighten my back leg, and then could I go back down? Or maybe you don't even lift the knee, right? You just work the extension. I'm going to try one more time. Push through the back foot and then set it back down. All right, let's try the other side. So this is practice today is more of like, how are we moving in our hips? Not what are we doing, but how we're doing what we're doing. Okay, so right leg is forward now. If you can tuck your back toes under. This is an essential functional lunge to be able to get off the floor as we get older, right? So very important functional work here, but we start easy. You can bring your arms into cactus and then just play with pushing the back foot, heel into the wall. Can you feel like this side? I don't feel my left glute at all. I only feel like a little bit of my left thigh stretching. That's okay. Just takes a little attention. Maybe you bring the arms to a different place or hands at the hips. Just keep reaching back without straightening the back leg yet. Now try that. Maybe I'm going to put my hands on the front thigh for this side. This side's a little bit weaker for me. And then set it back down. So if you need a little extra support, we're just trying not to go way forward. So we're pushing straight down and coming up, and then maybe setting back down. All right, good. And then bring your front leg back. And let's come down to your hands and knees now. And take your right leg out to the side. Stretch forward or shift forward and back. We'll lengthen out the inner leg. And then switch sides, bring the left leg out to the left, shift forward and back. Dynamic movement, opening the inner hip. And then bring your leg in. Now let's come onto your back and grab your block and slide your block under your pelvis for supported bridge. If a block is too much this morning, you can use a folded blanket instead of a block under your pelvis. Just having it right under the sacrum and tailbone. And bring your feet to the floor. Letting your shoulders cascade down and away from your hips. Your head rests easy on the ground here. And then let's take your belt. You might still have that loop in your belt, that's fine. I'm going to bring the left foot in and take the belt around the bottom of the left foot. Stretch the right leg away on the floor. So left leg up and right leg down. Now, initially here, you're focus is just breath, just inviting the breath. And I'm noticing that my ribs are a little resistant to relax back to the floor. So just going to invite some breaths into my rib cage area and let the back ribs soften a little bit. Especially if we've been in go mode and serving folks or, just showing your best side, right? When you're entertaining or when you're with others. So now you can just settle back into your own body again and just nurture your being here. And then let's switch legs, bring the right leg up into the belt and let the left leg extend along the floor. Checking in with the back rib, the back body area. Is there any, you don't have to press your ribs back, but just yielding, allowing, inviting. These are very yin qualities rather than trying to push or force. Just allowing the back body to soften. And then take your strap away, feet back to the floor. And let's take the prop out from underneath you and extend your legs. Maybe have the legs a little wider this morning. Bring the arms a little wider so there's some space under the arms. If you need any support under your head, of course. Just allowing your eyes to soften, the muscles behind your eyes. The skin of your forehead. And the cheekbones. The ears. Softening through the lower jaw. And back of the skull. Relaxing through the shoulders. The arms. And hands and fingers. Softening through the torso, hips. Down through the legs and feet. Gently begin to lengthen your arms and your legs a little bit. As you roll to one side. And bringing yourself back up into a comfortable seat. And join your hands together in front of your heart.